What's up, y'all? I'm Jaguar, Wright. You might remember me. And I just got finished doing another interview with real life street stars. It was awesome. So subscribe and keep coming back, even for other people than me. They got dope people. Yeah.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. Know what time it is.
Women hip hop right now is pretty much the hottest thing going, like as far as period.
I mean, is it? How many records does Sweetie sell? That bitch got 80 million followers and she sold 2,000 fucking things.
I was gonna lean more towards Glorilla. And
I'm not very familiar with her.
she's from Memphis. She's very talented.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
But I'm still stuck on Rhapsody.
Right.
Right, as you should.
Like, I'm still waiting for Rhapsody to have her fucking blow up moment. Like, big blow up. Like, I'm really not even trying to hear about another female rapper until Rhapsody get her fucking flowers.
Yeah, if not for real. We need that to happen
Like,
immediately.
we needed it to happen 3 years ago. Let's just keep it all the way 100. All of the hottest female rappers are all ex-strippers.
Yeah, that seems to be the brand.
All ex-strippers.
Yeah. Or they
And
build
let's
them.
keep it all the way 100. They don't write their rhymes, allegedly.
Nah, they don't build their bodies either. It just all come put together.
Let's
It's a
just keep
package.
it, let's keep it straight. This is playing make-believe at its highest level.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, there's real MCs, female MCs that are writing their shit. Like, I would even appreciate it if they would let the real talented female MCs ghostwrite for these bitches. But the women ain't ghostwriting they shit.
That's the
it's
men.
niggas.
Yeah, it's the niggas.
Niggas is writing these bitches shit.
Hey, man.
And I was talking about this the other day on my live. All of these women are out here buying into all of the shit that all of these bitches is saying that's being written by a dude. This is a dude's perspective on how a woman should be talking, and then the other women listen to her and be like, ooh, that's how she talking. That's how I'm talking, girl. Yeah, girl.
Hold up.
Oh, fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, we all over here. But meanwhile, all of these words came from a man.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's powering who? I don't call that empowerment. I call that impimpment.
Impimpment. New word. Urban Dictionary. Write it down. Cosign.
You ain't empowering shit. This nigga is spitting old fucking pimp shit and juicing it up and putting a bitch word here, there. You spitting it out on his behalf. Like, for real, when you look at it, these ghostwriters is pimps and the artists are they bottom bitches.
Ooh. It just moved to the rap, I guess, because you paint a very interesting picture there.
I mean, seriously.
Ooh.
Whoever's spitting the game, whoever's writing the game
Right.
is running the game.
That's a fact. It's a fact. Party.
Period.
We want them.
And they all strippers.
Yeah.
And all of them are still just trying to be Little Kim,
That's a fact. Hey, so I got a question.
who was a figment of Biggie Smalls' imagination, blown to life.
Yeah. So as a woman, right, coming up, like I remember you said, don't do it as an artist. But what do you think this is gonna do for the future female rap artists going down the line? Like how NWA now is like more and more gangster now. What do you think this level of rap is gonna do for going forward?
I don't know. But I pray to God something drastic happens. Because let's just be honest, hip hop and females, and it's kind of embarrassing right now. And I think the whole Saweetie thing, I think that sums it up best. You got 80 million followers and not even 1% was interested in buying your shit.
Does that say something more about the music or the person, do you feel?
No.
Or it's the
It's
industry?
just a game.
Ah.
It's just a game. You got, how many followers she got?
I mean, we can check right now. we can check right now.
Let's do the math.
Yeah,
Let's see if the
we
math
can check
is
right
mathing.
now as we're live and live.
Let's see if the math is mathing.
13 million.
13 million.
She has 13 million followers. 10% of 13 million is what? 1.3 million.
Yeah.
1% of 1.3 million is what? 130,000.
130.
She sold 2,000. So you in the neck? Wait a minute. So she got 1%. 1% is 130,000.
Yeah. So it's like,
So she almost in
Tenth.
the, like she negative.
yeah, she's like 1/10%. Yeah.
That's.
So back in the
Don't she got a blue check?
yeah,
too?
she got a blue check. Okay, back in the day, right?
Yeah.
I feel like y'all sold more records. Why do you think the decline of the music is like they're superstars, but they're only selling 30, 40,000?
Because nobody gives a fuck about the music.
Ah.
That's why.
Yeah. Are you trending on TMZ? That's what I hear. That's what makes me want to buy an album. What's the juice? So I can relate to it on the
Nobody
music.
gives a fuck. Listen to me. Even when you look at this bullshit, like even with the whole, with Jennifer Huff and the Nicki Minaj issues, and then Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and all of this shit in the midst of it all. Like, the fuck? The fans.
Are they real fans though? Or are they bots?
No, listen
Are they
to me.
purchased?
I'm sure there's a good number of AI in there.
Yeah.
But they got actual fucking fans that follow them. Listen to me. My girl Nosy Ho live on YouTube. She started advocating for Jennifer Huff, Kenneth Petty's victim. Kenneth Petty being Nicki Minaj's husband. Now, I'm wrangled up in that
You were.
advocacy. I advocate for Jennifer Huff. Part of the reason why I advocate for Jennifer Huff is because it disgusts me what has happened to her life. See, when she was 16 years old, she was unfortunate enough to be raped by knife point and cut by Kenneth Petty, who was also 16. She was threatened. She was bullied. In the end, he said, fuck the trial, and he copped. He copped a plea, attempted rape. But it landed him on the sex offender registry list. By the way, he is a level 3 sex offender. For those of you who don't understand how it works, this is how it goes.
Teaching with Jaguar.
First tier, level 1 sex offender. You on that motherfucker for 10 years. Level 2, they gave you 20 years on the registry. Level 3, you're on it for life. For life. For life. That's her husband. A whole ape, monster, sexual, sadist, deviant, who likes to whittle on his women as he rapes them. That's her fucking husband.
Right.
Jennifer was his victim in the 90s. She moved on with her life, had children, everything was fine until this pussy marries Nicki. Now he married Nicki. He Mr. Minaj, right? So he moves from New York to Los Angeles and decides he doesn't have to register anymore Well, he ends up getting busted for it. He gets booked. The fans catch on. The blogs catch on. And then the next thing you know, they find out he's got a conviction. Then they start researching who's the victim. And now Jennifer Huff's name is drug into this shit all over again. The Pettys decide to engage her, offer to pay her to recant her story so he can get off the registry. Imagine the fucking balls. Listen to me. I know you got raped up and cut, baby, but this is what I need you to do for me.
Forget
you know,
the
that
trauma.
shit was mad long ago. Look, I'm about to get you this cash. I'll give you yay stacks, yay racks. All you got to do is just go back to New York State and tell them that you lied and recant your story and everything, and I'm going to hook you up on the back end. You're going to be great. The fucking audacity. This woman made it through this shit. Moved on with her life, and then the next thing she know, her name is all over the blogs. She didn't even know. Somebody approached her daughter. Then her family started getting threatened again by their quote unquote alleged gang ties and friends. She was literally minding her fucking business and got sideswiped by fame. How unlucky for her.
Very.
That her assailant married someone famous and now drug her all back into this shit. So yeah, advocating for her was an easy choice.
Is she in the business?
No.
Yeah. Is
No,
she?
she's a normal person.
Yeah.
Has a hard time keeping jobs because all of the fucking attention, they don't want that shit around there.
Right.
They threatened her 6-year-old daughter. They threatened to rape and kill her 6-year-old daughter. Her fans, the fucking barbs. Them fucking bobblehead bitches. Male and female and whatever else and however, whatever your pronoun is alike. You a fucking barb, you fucking stupid out of your goddamn mind. They actually got on Nosey's page in the comments and said if they ever found out that Nicki Minaj committed rape, they would work to make rape legal so she wouldn't have to face no charges.
That's crazy.
This is the kind of shit
mindset.
that these pussies say.
The mindset.
A couple of them tried to jump on my page. And I said, this is real simple. We can meet wherever you want. I just want you to say it to my face. That's all. You can say whatever you want to say to me. To my face. It's easy to be real tough like this. I mean, like, it's insane. They harass people. They track people down. But the same thing happened to me with the fucking wine gang. The winos. Like, how offensive is that I'm being hunted by a group that calls themselves the winos? That shit is like...
The winos.
It's fucking awful. I'm being hunted by a bunch of fucking drunk bitches who drink boxed wine. And listen to a crazy bitch that's been caught in 80 million lies and owes Cardi B $4 million.
The whole situation. So, to segue back to that, your ex is on there, but also your son is brought on that.
Yeah.
For you, and again, I know you haven't went through and watched every minute of her, but there's probably had clips. For you to see that your son is on that.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But not because I was worried about how it was making me look. Not at all. See, I know what kind of mother I've been.
You're the mother.
I know what kind of mother I've been. So I wasn't personally offended for myself. I felt bad for him because I knew when I saw the little clips that I had seen, I instantly knew he's he's uncomfortable. He's talking from that stressed place. Like, I know it better than anybody. I watched this human being grow up. I taught him how to walk. I taught him how to talk. I fed him. I potty trained him. I taught him how to stand up and pee in front of the toilet. Not even his father did that. So and I was married. So all that being said, like, instantly. But I felt the same way when he was at the shooting. When my eldest son was murdered, in 2018, he wasn't allowed to come home for the funeral because his father was afraid that I was going to ask for change of custody. So he wasn't allowed to come to his brother's funeral.
That's great.
And instead, my family members back home, which, by the way, a couple of them, they were on the Tasha K thing too.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they all got together.
Yeah, seen the cousins and
and decided to have a mock funeral block party rather than coming to Texas. They was going to celebrate their way. His body was in Texas, but they having a little service in Philly. Gotcha. They were upset that I didn't fly him home. And I'm glad I didn't fly him home, because you want to know what happened at that gathering on Hawthorne Street, on the 5700 block of Hawthorne Street?
Go ahead.
Man, in Frankfurt, Philadelphia, some of my son's friends decided to come to the gathering. And the reason why I got my son out was because their enemies showed up and shot up the party. Killed my son's best friend right in my son's face. My boy, my baby boy. If he had been in Texas with me, he would have never seen that. He would have never been there for that. He had to go run under a table while his dad ran off to go get the car so they could speed off. And when I found out, because I got a phone call, and it was at the repast dinner that we were having, it was literally on the day of my son's funeral. I get the phone call. They shot up the block. They killed Giovanni's best friend. And I'm like, what? Who was there? Sam is gone. He all right. What do you mean, Sam? My son was there? He all right. He ain't catch no heat.
He ain't catch no heat.
Let me call my son, because I know how he is. I know this got to be fucking him up. I call my son. The first thing, I'm like, are you okay? Just tell me, are you okay? It's not Dad's fault, Mom. It's not his fault. It could have happened to anybody. It could have happened to anybody. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just want you to know, Dad, it's not Dad's fault that I saw the shooting. He didn't know it was going to happen. It could have happened to anybody. I said, fuck all that. Are you okay? Huh? I said, take a deep breath. Have you even thought about yourself at all? Are you checking up on you? Fuck your dad. Are you okay? Give me the phone. Listen to me. I didn't plan this. We didn't know it was going to happen. Look, he'll call you back. Now, I want you to think about this. An autistic young man who buckles at pressure and crumbles in chaos. Not allowed to go to his brother's funeral, forced to go to some fake-ass ceremony / block party, watches his brother, who had just been murdered the week before, watches his brother's best friend be murdered right in front of him. And then he's spirited off and downloaded, if you talk to your mom, you make sure you let her know it's not my fault. The fuck?
Yeah, so.
No, what kind of fucking sick-ass motherfucker, call yourself a parent, do you gotta be to know that your child, who suffers and struggles from dealing with pressure and anxiety and all of this shit, he's been suicidal twice, he's had to be in he's been on suicide watch in a fucking mental hospital twice before he turned 18. And all you thinking about is how it makes you look? Suck every dick that you lie about, bitch. Suck every dick that you've lied about, bitch. You don't give no fuck about my child. You give a fuck about what you do to my child and how it affects me.
he was recently on a Night and Day podcast in which you and your son now are everything's
He's home.
Yeah, he's home. Everything's copacetic.
Everything was always copacetic. There was never a bad moment. There was never an argument. When he finally found out, because he didn't even know that was a whole documentary thing. He didn't know. He didn't find out until somebody approached him about it in the street. See, they kept him quarantined off, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody told him what had been going on. So when he finally found out about it, he became very awkward about it and all of that. And he said, Mom, I had no idea. I said, shh. I know. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, no, that's so needed as a mother to be able to give, it's okay.
It's okay.
He could wear that forever. Like, damn, what did I do?
And, you know, please understand, this is the same child that I sat in jail for 8 months on a bullshit case that I had to beat in fucking Cook County Jail. Behind that pussy ass motherfucker. I had legal custody of my son here in Dallas, Texas, but I was charged with child abduction in Chicago. And Chicago refused to work with the DA's office here, so I was forced on a governor's warrant for a nonviolent crime. $150,000 bond. I was forced to be extradited from Lew Sterrett to Cook County and fight that case. By the way, I had a whole fucking jazz tour set up. Was forced to miss that. Had 8 other shows. I had fucking 25 shows set up. All forced to be missed. Meanwhile, there's another trial happening in Dallas that I'm fighting while I'm sitting in jail for custody of my son, of me not losing custody of my son that I had just gotten. I didn't lose custody of him because I was a bad mother. I lost custody of him because I was still in fucking jail. I'm sitting in the fucking social worker's office, fucking representing myself at my custody case here while I'm fighting a child abduction case there. Meanwhile, I have custody, but I abducted him in another state that nobody fucking lived in. Because my ex-husband wasn't even living there. When they arrested me, that pussy had already moved back the fuck to Philly. But see, he was busy fucking that goddamn detective, that ugly ass bitch who was so grateful to have a good looking man on her.
Yeah.
Hooking him up with some polos from time to time. That bitch charged me anyway, and I was forced to fucking sit. And guess what happened when we finally got to trial? Nulle prosecute.
Oh.
All charges dismissed. They couldn't even go through with trial. The fucking judge looked at the paperwork and fucking laughed at him. And on top of that, the fucking interview that I did that was filmed in interrogation when I first got there before they booked me into the county, I had my fucking Dallas County paperwork, my custody paperwork, and everything that came from my lawyer. I took that shit and I shoved that shit in my shirt. I had them papers on me when I went into interrogation. Take off my handcuffs. Are you willing to talk to us without an attorney? I said, yeah, under one condition. What? That I'm allowed to use my paperwork. I had to take it out when I first got there because, you know, I have to go in the cells and sit in the tombs and wait for them to bring me the fuck upstairs and all of that shit. In the dead of winter. In Chicago.
Come on.
In the dead of winter. I went from Texas. It was fucking 78 degrees when we fucking left Love Field to -2. I come upstairs, they get my paperwork. I said, do you see all this? Do you see the county seal? Fuck y'all. You ain't got no case. Fuck y'all. For all we know, those are fakes. You can easily call the DA's office in Dallas County and have them authenticated. They've been trying to reach you for months. They said y'all refused all their phone calls. All of this is on camera. Then the white motherfucker. Old ignorant dude. Real Chicago. Real fucking kibasa chewer, you know. Why are you talking to her like this? Why are you treating her? You're not supposed to treat her like that. I said, treat me like what? Like a person? I said, oh yeah, she's supposed to treat me like a nigga, right? I don't know who you think you're talking to. I was like, this is on camera, right? I said, like a nigga, right? I said, what's it gonna take to get you upset? Because I'm fitting to make you upset. Well, I can't believe you would pull out the race card. I said, why not? You already know you fucking putting on a pony show for him. He's my friend. I said, yeah. Until you're the only black person in the room, and then you a nigga too, bitch. Fuck y'all. Y'all ain't gonna drop it? Take me to the county, book me in. I'm ready to go to trial. Y'all got 3 days to indict me. You already 2 weeks late. Let's fucking do it. And with 180 documents and a public defender, I beat that case.
With the public defender. Congrats on that, because that's important.
Yeah, but I lost custody of my son because I was still in jail.
Yeah, exactly. The 8 months. What can you do?
I could have came home and fought. And then I thought about my son. More court, more testifying, more already $137,000 and some odd wasted on lawyers and bond fees. And that was his whole college. That was all his college money wasted on that fucking case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasted on that case. When he was 16. He was only going to be 18 in 2 years. I let him ride it out. Because if I keep fighting, this nigga's going to keep fighting. And if he even tries another motherfucking stunt to get me booked, we all gonna fucking end this shit. I spent 12 years in court with that bitch. 12. Every time I booked a tour, every time I was working on a project, court paperwork, court paperwork, court paperwork. It's like the fucking divorce that never ends. How about that? You think I'm going to put pressure on my son for anything? Knowing that the only reason his mom is going through hell and losing money and losing work and going through all of this shit is because I believe in him. I told him I don't feel like doing this shit. And if your dad pulls a stunt, I might have to go away. But I'll do it for you. What do you want? I want to fight, Mom. I want to get away from him. Well, then fuck it. Book you into the cook-in. Fuck it. That's who I am.
Now, I have to ask, because you got married young, or what they consider young. During that...
It was young.
It was young. And the reason I want to say it was young because... And I want you to address it because you're here and, you've spoken on yourself, but the Talib Kweli situation.
Yeah.
Was that a situation when you were willing to kind of throw everything?
That's such a bad fucking memory now.
Yeah, shit,
I feel bad. Like, I was watching Saturday Night Live and I was like, you look like a whole fucking nerd. I can't believe I fucking had sex with you. Like, I really can't.
Were you willing to throw it all away for Talib at the time? At the time.
Oh, you talking about the affair?
Yeah, at the time.
Okay, let me break it down.
Okay.
Apparently, Talib was interested in me before I got married. When I got married, it was me and my ex-husband had only been in each other's lives for 9 months. We eloped, and that was it. So the last time Talib had seen me, he came to Black Lily. I wasn't married yet, and the next time he came, I was married. He was very upset about it. And, I wish you hadn't got married. You don't know what I feel about you, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, great. I was weird about that shit. I was like, okay, yeah, all right, whatever. Go fuck another bitch. You'll get over it. And it's, But then made it through the summer, and my marriage was already bad. Like, it was already bad. Like, 3 months in, it was bad. He had some kind of psychosomatic issue, so he had erectile dysfunction. He had to go to the strip club to get arousal. And I'm like, you ain't got to lie to go to the strip club. I'm at the strip club.
Right.
And these bitches like me more than they like you. I'm more fun. People keep forgetting I'm bisexual. So, you know, I think he hated the fact that bitches was more into me than they were into him. I was just more fun. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the shit was already bad. I was already contemplating divorce. And then the OK Player tour happened, and then I found out that Talib was signing on. And then first day of tour, he was on the fellas bus, and then he decided he was going to move to my bus. And then we started having green tea in the mornings.
Green tea. Yeah. If you know.
And talking about philosophy and jazz and shit. And then it was, Jag, I can't believe you married, and yada, yada, yada. So on the second night of the tour, we was fucking. I said, fuck it. That nigga over there, we over here. And then he was calling my room, and I wasn't answering. And this was like, I wasn't carrying cell phones in 1999 like that, you know, especially not around and shit. I didn't give a fuck. There was always somebody around. It was always waiting. Plus, I liked not being reached so easily. And then that's when Tina snitched me out and told my ex-husband that I was in Talib's room, and then he flew out and all that shit. I think the best part about that whole story is that Night and Day turned it into a cartoon. That shit. I'm glad it happened just for that. Because that shit is funny as fuck and accurate. So, you know, all of that shit happened, and then it was like, I was planning on filing for divorce, and then he came, and he was so heartbroken. He was always so fucking heartbroken. God, I wish he had been as big of a dick then as he became later. Like, you broke my heart. I can't believe you fucking had sex with him. Why not? He's a fucking rapper. I've been fucking rappers. You did this to me. You did that to me. Like, you ain't doing shit while I'm away. I was thinking about, I can't believe you want to get divorced. We're supposed to be together. We're supposed to have children. And then it was all about children after that. Children, 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 children. So I ended up having a baby in the middle of the release of my first album. You know, The Pressure. He was my husband. I decided to marry him, so I gotta make it work. I gotta make it look good. I gotta make it look good for my family because I was a teen mom and I needed to create a family for my illegitimate child. And I gotta do this, and I gotta be this, and I gotta be that, and I gotta be this, and I gotta be that. And, you know, I mean, I think it lasted as long as it did because I had so many wonderful affairs.
Wow.
You know, if it my marriage.
They often say affairs help marriages.
I mean, I don't know if it helped mine, but it definitely prolonged it. Because see, every time I fucking had an affair, then I was the bad guy, and then I had to sit there, and I had to be humble and go to therapy. You know what I mean? I was always, but that's funny though, because I was always kind of like the nigga in a relationship.
Nah, facts.
You know, like I'll never forget the one time that me and my ex got into it when we were still at the family house in Voorhees, and I had looked over all the phone numbers on the phone bill. I was checking it because I had some issues with Sprint at the time. Sometimes back then, Sprint got really interesting with the billing. Yeah. You know. So I'm sitting there and I'm going through the numbers, and I keep seeing this repeat number that's coming from his line. And so I called it, and it was some bitch that he was fucking with. And she said, you know, I'm sorry. I know he's married, but he said that you were in an asylum and you had lost your mind and he was lonely and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay. I said, well, thank you, because what I'm about to do right now is lose my whole fucking mind. And she said, are you okay? I said, babe, you have no idea. I'm good. She said, why? I said, because I'm going to the Cayman fucking Islands this weekend.
Right.
Thank you. Guy that I used to date had a plane. He had been asking me to go to the Caymans with him so we could go gambling and kick it and do all that shit. But I was trying to be good, you know, giving my marriage a chance, you know. And then when I found the bitch's phone number, I'm like, yeah! So I call Henri and I tell him I'm available. And he told me he was gonna have the plane in Atlantic City at the tarmac. And I'm like, what time? And I'm like, I'll be there. So I start packing and get everything together. I cook some food and make sure that there's supper there in the house. You know, I'm not gonna leave real ignorant. You know, I'm gonna cook. And I cooked supper. And then my ex-husband came in and he, well, where are you going? I'm going to the Caymans. I'm going to Grand Cayman for the weekend. With who? With Henri. Who the fuck is that? I said, I don't know. Who is he? I said, I could ask you the same about this number, the highlighted number. Who the fuck is this?
Right.
Oh. I
Bye-bye.
said, it's cool. I already talked to her. She told me everything.
Bye-bye.
Dinner's in the stove. And I'm finna go. I'm finna go. You're not gonna leave? Yeah, I am. I got a plane waiting on me. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Oh, so you think that you don't think we need to talk about this? I said, no. You fucking a whack bitch, and I'm fucking a nigga with a plane.
Damn. Oh, shit. God damn.
I said, point blank, and I said, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't, bitch. Bye. I'll be back Tuesday. My mom will take the kids if you want to go out and fuck this bitch or something. We good. But the food is in there. Everything is, you know, be well.
It sounds like a good-ass movie. I ain't gonna hold you.
And I rolled out.
Shit.
And then it kind of just got like that. The marriage just kind of became that. It was a series of affairs.
But if you like women, why y'all didn't ever just think about like doing things together? Like
we tried that once.
Oh, okay.
And I felt bad about it because the woman that we tried that with was really in love with me, and she didn't want to sleep with him, but she did it because of me. And there was a day, there was an experience that happened, and I saw how uncomfortable she was, and she just kept looking at me. She's sitting there fucking him, but she's sitting there staring at me saying, I love you, I love you. And I'm like, yeah, this is too much.
Now,
I went into the bathroom, I started freaking out. He likes to tell the story as I got jealous of seeing him with another woman.
I'm sure he likes to tell like that.
And I mean, that's cool. But the problem is the only time she would fuck him is if I asked her to. You know, it's one thing to brag on your dick if a bitch is really all about you and all for you. But if your wife has to make a bitch fuck you, are you really the player that you think you are? Like,
you're definitely not. You're definitely not.
I mean, he used to drop my name to chicks. Well, you know, I managed Jaguar, right? And yada, yada, yada. And that was his come on line. I said, you can't even get pussy without me.
That's deep. That's tough.
You know, so when it gets down to that, yeah, you just kind of stop giving a fuck. And it went to levels of don't give a fuck. And then I started noticing what it was doing to my son.
Yeah.
And I said, this has to stop. Me and you, we can play these games all day long. I've been fucking broken and built myself all the way back up again, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna let this shit kill that angel of a soul. And then that's when it just, you know, we got to the divorce. And then fucking the decade plus of ugly after that. He's been trying to make me feel sorry for so long. And I'm glad that I finally gotten to a place when it comes to that individual where I've made peace with it to a certain extent. It was just really interesting because before my son came home, when he was still up there, He was supposed to be coming for Christmas. We were trying to work it out, and then it just got weird. And then he was supposed to be going to Miami with my sister, but then he couldn't go anywhere because his dad couldn't afford to pay a ticket. And apparently he had like open heart surgery or some shit. And, you know, so his heart's all fucked up now. And, you know, and it's interesting. You would think that while he's dealing with all the complications of his life breaking down, I'm the smoker, I'm the drinker, he's supposed to be the perfect one. But they had to bust your heart open and unclog your arteries and shit and do all kinds of shit to you. He's had every kind of health scare I think you could think of, from prostate to the this to the that. And it's like, have you figured out yet that maybe the universe is trying to tell you something? Like, every time he do something fucked up to me, something bad happens to him. And you still keep justifying it and, you know, so whatever. So at the end of the day, I guess to sum it all up, I'm good. I'm good with it. Every fucking torture that he's put me through in my life has been worth it to me because it was all for my son.
Amen.
And the one thing that my child knows better than anybody, that nobody else could ever possibly know or understand, is that I'm the parent that's willing to die for him if need be. He knows that. He knows there's nothing that I won't do for him. There's not a lot of people that can say that about their parents, without a doubt. I went to jail for him. I fought cases for him. I've dealt with bullshit for him. And yeah, no, I love him.
Now you
Probably love him more than I've ever loved anyone in my life.
Now you said an astronomical number while we was talking.
What?
1.5 million.
Oh yeah, how much money he beat me out of?
Yeah.
Fleecing my fucking accounts, doing all kinds of shit, going to my ex-business manager, which is why I fired him, and having him cut checks while I'm on the road for nothing. All kinds of shit. Meanwhile, I come home and I gotta pay foreclosure on my house because you ain't paid the fucking mortgage while I was gone either, bitch. There's a whole lot of fucking shit. He done beat through a whole lot of fucking cash. And he's still sitting here begging for another $16,000 in child support. I'll get around to it. I'm about to challenge it because the number's wrong. You know, technically, I've been unemployed.
There you go. Stand on
You
it.
can't charge me whatever you thought you was going to charge me for child support. I have to be able to prove that I made said income. My son was murdered. I was grieving for a year.
Right.
And then after that, the pandemic came. And then I had a whole emotional breakdown over a friend dying. And I fucking cried bloody murder on the whole world. And then my life was threatened. I had to go on the road. And all of this shit has been documented online. So yeah, didn't nobody make no fucking money. Technically.
Now, I want to touch on a friend dying, but even before we get there, I got to ask you about 2001, Jay-Z Unplugged.
Yeah.
Jaguar Wright is there,
Yeah.
Heart of the City.
Yeah. It's the 21-year anniversary.
It's the 21-year
this month.
anniversary, and I don't think we've seen nothing like that since. And I know you posted it. We're going to talk about the network, but I know you posted it and put it out there. I want you to touch on either the genius or the insanity of Jay-Z. This man, as far as what he's done since then, is, you know, either preordained, destined, or he had a plan. But it seemed like he geared himself towards it. But you were there to witness it firsthand from what he was back then. I just want you to, like, because, you know, not many people have a firsthand account of what this man is doing and what he's about to do.
In 21 years, I have never had anything to say about Mr. Sean Carter other than the fact that we had a pleasant working relationship and he was an excellent businessman.
21 years.
In 21 years. And after 21 years, what I will say to you is this. The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest. One of the
sensei.
dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z. And then, you know, he starts clienteling with Tupac and clienteling with Biggie and doing songs with Biggie and building a working, you know, camaraderie with Honeycombs and AKA Diddy. And
Why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
because he smacks so sweet. That fucking sodomite. Anyway, so yeah, then, you know, and then Reasonable Doubt was happening, and then Dame's in the picture, and Dame's building Rockefeller, and everybody's talking about Jay-Z. And don't get me wrong, there is nobody who loves Reasonable Doubt more than me.
At the time of.
Nobody. No, still.
Yes. To this day.
Still. Listen to me. I don't give a fuck how I feel about you. For me to have bad feelings about someone and not acknowledge art and its greatness or at its finest is hating. Maybe I don't fuck with you, but them shoes is hot, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be real. So I will never. Shit, I was just listening to Watch the Throne earlier this week, and that shit was enraging me. Cause I'm like, y'all motherfuckers was living for this fucking album and was Kanye. And then all of y'all made all of this money on this motherfucking dude, and now all of a sudden, who, him? Like, like he was good enough when you let him slump Just Blaze's fucking whole career. He was the shit.
That's the whole issue in itself.
It was worth putting Just Blaze on the line for, because Just Blaze was Rockefeller production until Kanye.
Yeah.
Who's Just Blaze producing for now?
That I don't know. Who is? Yeah, I'm about to say that I don't know. And he was the movement.
Where is Just Blaze?
Yeah.
I mean, he was making Hov's beats. You got Tidal. You're a billionaire. Where the fuck is Just Blaze?
That's the question.
Why is he's not at least an executive at Rock Nation? He's not at least an executive at Tidal?
At least.
Like I said, Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both fucked Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of both worlds? Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
We know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
Yeah.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. Am I wrong? Does anybody disagree with me?
No, that's facts.
So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy. And then starting his own company. So tell me something. And this ain't me being an asshole. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a fuck if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner. But to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was fucking the girl that didn't want you.
Oh. Let the church say amen.
I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you moved his ass around and out of Rockefeller so tough and then just moved right over to Def Jam. By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling? Jam on your horn now, that fucking bullshit ass record. From the Austin Powers shit, it was some of the worst shit ever. They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in. And your love got me thinking so crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame. And Aaliyah's gone. And, you know. You have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right. Yeah.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again? So to answer your question, I'm sure he's always going to be a billionaire, and I'm sure he's got great things to happen. I mean, look, he's got the job with the NFL. He's hooking all his friends up with the halftime shows. I mean, think about it. Think about the halftime shows. Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, all Rock Nation. Now Rihanna, and then we had the whole LA thing, which of course he was involved in that, and then they pulled Mary J. Blige off to, you know, make sure she got that money for Kendall, and you know, they had that whole moment, you know, but all he's doing is using his friends and the people that he fucks with, or at least the people that signs his non-disclosure agreements. He keeps getting them the Super Bowl gigs. So I mean, like, he's doing all kinds of stuff, you know, and I do not begrudge him. It's just, if you got to do the kind of things that he's done to get where he's gotten, yeah, fuck it. I don't want it that bad. I don't want nothing that bad. Which is why I can't understand why people are so willing to just write Kanye off as insane.
And that's what I want to touch on. Like, what is your thoughts on some of the? Do you think he's trying to tell us something that we don't understand, or do you think he's really just going off the rails with some of the comments?
He's telling everybody exactly what they don't want to hear. He's doing the same thing I did 2 years ago. It's just he's Kanye West, you know, so it's like relentless. I was like, yeah, popcorn.
Ooh, fucking. He's giving it up though. He's giving it up like.
It's just sad.
Yeah. I mean, he threw Chris Paul up under the bus. I'm like, okay.
Why not? What the fuck is so special about these motherfuckers?
Right.
That they get to call him crazy and he don't get to say shit back.
Right.
Everybody can have an opinion about him, but he can't have one. Oh, why? Oh, yeah, his loudspeaker is better than yours. See, that's the real fucking problem.
It's the brands.
It's the real fucking problem. Y'all talk shit about this motherfucker all the time. You don't hear him complaining. He just keeps moving. But when he starts saying, oh my God, you know he's ill. You know he's very unwell. Fuck out of here. So what, because he's crazy, that means he can't tell the truth? He's been crazy. He was crazy when he went up on that stage and fucking stripped that shit off of fucking Taylor Swift. But did anybody pay attention to how the show ended that night? Let me point out Kanye's genius. It was the first night he performed. Let's get a toast for the douchebags. Let's get a toast for the assholes. Let's get a toast for the scumbags. Every one of them that I know. He fucking acted like all of those things. He acted it out in real life and then he sang the song. And that shit went what? Like, ain't nobody even pay attention to that.
Damn.
He actually disrespected the fuck out of this little girl and then turned around and already had the theme song written.
So is he crazy or calculated?
You tell me.
Yeah, calculated.
That's the best part.
The sad part is his level of brilliance is so pure that most people, it's like a dog whistle. That shit hide in a motherfucker. And the motherfuckers that are tuned and able to hear it are like, woo! But everybody else like, why the fuck is this motherfucker with his... You know what I mean? That's what it looks like to people. That's the difference between being woke and being conscious. I do not think he's insane. I think he suffers from extreme grief. I think he, as one of the artists that I work with said, might be struggling with a little buyer's remorse. Because he did buy into the game. And maybe he feels a little differently about some of the choices that he made in his younger years. Maybe that's why he's able to talk about his mom being sacrificed. And it's so funny because people are so quick to label that as, you know, see, I told you he's sick. I told you he's crazy. But then I went back and did a little research about her plastic surgeon. Because, you know, she died from the effects of plastic surgery. Did anybody bother to check this motherfucker out? His record was terrible. He had a bunch of motherfucking, like, he had been sued, malpractice insurance. He couldn't even get malpractice insurance for less than $10 million in some places. He didn't have the best record. And every interview that he did, that motherfucker looked like I didn't do anything wrong. Why the fuck you so defensive? If she died from natural complications, why are you defensive as a physician? I didn't do anything. Makes you wonder when you go back and look. You know, and then he had said in one of the interviews that he did, Kanye knows why his mom died. I just wish he would tell the truth about it. That's what the doctor said.
Oh, wow.
And this was a year and a half after Donda died. So if the doctor said all of these years ago, Kanye knows what happened to his mother, I wish he would tell the truth about it, and now he's saying my mother was sacrificed, I don't know. Is he crazy? Is he? You know, people love things tied up in nice little neat little boxes, and they want it to be something that they can fathom in their imagination. And the truth is, life is stranger than fiction.
Wow.
So my opinion on Kanye West, talk, share, and do you, bro. Because I too know what it feels like. just wish my loudspeaker was as big as yours. But I'm out here fighting, doing the thing. You know, he's had it. Does he have tics? Does he have nervous issues? Does he have shit that other people have? I got PTSD. I suffer from anxiety at times. You know, does that mean that I'm not capable of telling the truth? I don't know. But if the best you can do is take him from being a 4 billionaire to a 400 millionaire, if that's the best shot you got, then
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the best you can do. You take away 90% of his money and he's still got 400 million. Still. And then you get his friends, people that have made money with him, money off of him, to go on TV and to shush nigga shush. Shush nigga shush. But it was all good when you was making money off of him. You know what I mean? I got friends that went crazy and lost their mind. I got friends who are veterans, who go through real. Me and my husband have gone down to the VA to sit with people. And guess what? I might not fuck with him as much because it's a lot to take. But ain't nobody ever heard me denounce him and say that I ain't never fucking with him again or just write him off. Like, real friends? Y'all think he's sick? Y'all think he's got issues? Then why ain't you coming to his aid? Why ain't you fucking helping him? Oh, that's right. He can talk because he didn't kill anybody. That's what he said. Mm. That's the reason why he can talk. It's because he ain't got the skeletons that the most of the motherfuckers that he know got. I wish I could be his translator. I think if Kanye could tell me what he was saying and give it to me, I could take it and deliver it how it needs to go. You know, like even with the Alex Jones interview, he just has such bad delivery, but it hits so hard that I really can't hate on it. He's a Christian. He's said it a million times. He's a Christian. He believes in Jesus. And as a Christian, you're supposed to love everybody, even your enemies.
Even your enemies.
So if you truly live by that, why can't you say that you love Nazis? If you're supposed to love everybody, even your enemy, why can't he? He can't have the love that God has for them because God loves them too.
Amen.
God loves everybody. And as a Christian, you're supposed to follow the footsteps. So did he really say anything wrong? Or is he just punching y'all motherfuckers in the eye just to fuck with you because he knows it's going to get you riled up and then you're going to have him back in the news feed again? Like it actually took Takeoff dying to slow him down in the algorithm for a second. And he's still out there. And I can't judge him. I actually dig what he's doing. You know, I'm a provocateur as well. Shake the table, tear the shingles off the roof, you know, whatever. However you want to do it. You know what I mean? Say roof or Escalade, like whatever. You know what I mean? Like turn into Thanos for a hot second, rip up half of the world, like whatever you gotta do. When people have this kind of extreme social reaction, it is a reaction to something. Sexual abuse and the desecration of legitimate legacies in entertainment. That was the for me. And it created this reaction. Something apparently happened to Kanye. And this is his reaction.
reality street stars, nigga. Move. Hey.